morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and here in studio with me, I welcome the president of the Barnstable Village Association, Joe Berlandi. Joe, good morning and welcome to our studio.
Good morning. Good morning. Delighted to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in. So, Joe, we've been kind of touring our village associations and getting a look at what the issues of importance are to our various 7 villages. And of course, the Barnstable Village Association, that name is relatively new, having come from what was once 2 separate entities, the Barnstable Village Civic Association and the Barnstable Village Business Association.
It's a mouthful.
It is.
Sure.
And to have 2 entities essentially trying to accomplish the same goals, I think you found, tell me a little bit about why you decided, or why it was decided to merge these 2 organizations.
Well, the merger was in the works for some time, and it's a question of duplication, basically, a duplication of efforts by everybody. Barnstable Village, as you know, is a very small village, but a very active village. There's a lot of energy there. And the Civic Association was undertaking a lot of events on an annual basis, and the Business Association was doing the same. And it just made a lot of sense to combine them into one and carry out the missions of both of them, which is what we're doing now. So basically it was to avoid a lot of duplication, and also to harness the volunteers, which are very important in any village when you're carrying out events such as the ones we carry out. We need volunteers, and both associations were drawing on the same pool of volunteers. So putting it together made an awful lot of sense.
Indeed. So now you've got not just people saying, well, I'm going to volunteer for the Civic Association and not the Village Association, or vice versa. You have both of those pools being able to help out with all of them. And from what I understand, you're going to keep the regular schedule of events that both organizations did, but obviously controlled by one organization now.
Correct. That's correct. And we're going to add new events as we go along.
Great. So, Joe, tell me a little bit about some of the issues, some of the things of importance that the Barnstable Village Association is looking at and dealing with and hoping to improve in the beautiful village of Barnstable Village.
Well, thank you for saying that, because it is a beautiful village, and we believe it's probably the best village. It's a little advertisement for ourselves. But in any event, we've been working with the town government, Tom Lynch and Dan Santos, and about public improvements on Main Street, basically Main Street. The village is very contained, as you know, unlike many other villages. That's what makes us so successful, the smallness and the containment. And we've been working with the town in terms of public improvements, such as adding new crosswalks. It's very, very important. We seem to act like those of us that came from Boston. Crosswalks don't mean a thing. We cross the street when we want to cross the street and where we want to cross the street. So we're trying to correct that by adding new crosswalks, and we're working with the town, and we're hoping in next year's budget there will be funds to add 5 or 6 new crosswalks. Now, this will slow down the traffic. One of our problems is that traffic, particularly in the morning, in the evening, traffic goes through that village at a very high speed, and it's very dangerous. And so the crosswalks will slow that down, and we're working with the town on that. The town already stamped or restamped the existing sidewalks or crosswalks, and so that's one major effort. We are also working with the town and the county commissioners and hopefully the utility companies to put the wires underground.
Right. What
we'd like to do, I think everyone agrees, not yet the utility companies, that at least the area, the Main Street area in the village, all the wires should be underground. It's a major undertaking, it's long range, but it's something that will absolutely beautify the village. As part of that, we are talking about installing periodic lighting on Main Street. We already have a plan. We already know the lights that we'd like to see, similar to Hingham and some of the other places in the greater Boston area.
You're thinking kind of old-fashioned lamp
Old-fashioned lights, which would not replace the street lights. The street lights are there, and they have to be there for safety. These periodic lights will give some sort of ambience to the village, and also safety at night, because it gets dark. So we're working on that. Funding, there are various sources of funding. Of course, there'll be private funding, some public funding, but all of that gets determined by whether the utilities go underground or remain above the ground. So that's the first issue we have to resolve. And we are working with the Cape Cod Commission, the town, Barnstable County Commissioners. We are all in agreement that the utilities should be underground. So the next step is to meet with the utility companies and try to convince them that it's the right thing to do.
Indeed, certainly a long process. And just to touch upon the crosswalk issue, you know, as you mentioned earlier, Barnstable Village is a small village, but it's a very busy village. You have the county complex, which, you know, people are coming in and out of that every day, whether they're working or whether they need to go to court, or, you know, you've got the DA's office, you have the Cape Cod Commission, and everyone crosses the street, whether they're going to lunch or doing business, getting coffee, whatever. There's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of car traffic in that little small winding part of 6A that goes through Barnstable Village.
That's correct. And it's not just 5 days a week. Of course, the county complex is there, and that creates an awful lot of traffic, parking, and so forth during the week. But as you know, during the weekends, we have an awful lot of events that the association sponsors. The concerts in the summertime, the farmers market every Saturday in the summertime. We have the holiday stroll, which is coming up December 3rd, I believe, and I hope everyone will be attending that. It's one of the best in the county. We have the summer stroll, which we had this year, which was an enormous success. That was the first time. We had the pie eating contest recently, which was a great success.
Who doesn't love a pie eating contest,
that's right. It was a great success. And so, and then we have the 4th of July parade. I mean, all of these events in the small little village, and everyone turns out. It's amazing, the energy in that village, not just the businesses, but the residents to come up to, and enjoy and participate in all of these activities.
Well, and because of the weather this past 4th of July, I think Barnstable Village was the only parade in town. You know, everybody else got canceled because of the weather and timing, et cetera, but Barnstable Village still marched, so I'm sure you had a little bit of an uptick in attendance because people said, I'm going to get my 4th of July parade in.
It was wonderful. They were 20 deep. No, really. And the businesses, of course, this helps the businesses without any question. And that's one of the reasons why we have the association, is to help the businesses, because if you don't have the businesses thriving in a little village, then you don't have life. And so all of this works together, and all of these events are to help not only the businesses, but to bring the people together in this wonderful village.
So, Joe, the board has been meeting quite frequently as you get this new organization underway and get prepared for your first full year. But I know that as we've been talking to our other civic associations and village associations, membership is huge, and you really want to get the people involved. So if there are Barnstable Village viewers that are watching right now who would like to get involved, who would like to become a part, be more an active citizen, how do they do so? How do they join?
They can go online. We have the Barnstable Village Association website. They can go online, and they can, and also we have applications. We're posting them everywhere in the post office and all of the buildings. So there are applications. They could call me, they can email me, or they can, again, go right online. It's fairly simple to go online. And yes, membership is very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else, Joe, about the Barnstable Village Association that you'd like to get out there? You know, obviously you are in charge. You've been a very active citizen for a long time. You know, for you, what is the value of being part of this and heading up this organization?
Well, the value, of course, is not monetary because it's all volunteer. But the value is just seeing a beautiful, quaint village maintain its history. And its value, and to bring all these people together. It's fun, it's energizing, and it's worthwhile.
Wonderful. Well, Joe, I thank you so much for joining us here on Barnstable this morning and talking a little bit about the beautiful village of Barnstable Village.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Joe Berlandi has been my guest today. He is the president of the Barnstable Village Association. For Barnstable this morning, I'm